So I think the president stands with the American people on this. He doesn't want to see people like Nancy Pelosi enriching themselves off of public service and ripping off their constituents in the process.
About this report that the president wants to host a G20 meeting at Trump Durrell. How is he going to do that considering all the preparations that have been going on in South Africa? And also, would that be seen as his businesses possibly profiting from hosting this kind of meeting?
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
It was another day ending in Y, meaning another opportunity for Trump and his chief White House propagandist, Caroline Leavitt, to stand at the podium and tell the American people that the president has their utmost interest at heart. And that's why, as inflation is up and companies are raising prices to combat his tariff policy, he's going to renovate the White House's East Wing with a mere $200 million ballroom.
Get to questions. I do have one other announcement from the White House and from the president. We are proud to announce that the construction of the new White House ballroom will begin.
Bobby, when it rains, it's a disaster. And the tent's 100 yards. That's more than a football field away from the main entrance. And people are slopping down to the tent. It's not a pretty sight. The women with their lovely evening gowns, all of their hair all done, and they're a mess by the time they get. And they've always wanted to have it. And I said, you know, in the first term, I said, you know, if I get another shot at this, I'm going to do a ballroom. I was pretty busy in the first because I was running the country, and I was also fighting for survival with all of the lunatics I had to beat. But it worked out, obviously, it worked out very well because here we are. But I always said I was going to do something about the ballroom because they should have one. So we'll be leaving it. It'll be a great legacy project, and I think it'll be special. You saw some renderings of the initial. I think it'll be really beautiful.
You know, it's bad when even Fox can barely stick around to the end. That being said, at least his eyes were open today.
Thank you.
Stars like Harrison Butker and Bryson DeChambeau, legends like Annika Sorenstam and Lawrence Taylor. We have our own legends, though, here. Someone who was part of Trump's Council on Fitness during his first term. It's Fox Sports college football studio analyst and former head coach of Ohio State, Florida.
But we'll get to that in a minute. See, during Leavitt's press conference earlier in the day, she used her time to advocate for her fearless leader to get the Nobel Prize.
The president has now ended conflicts between Thailand and Cambodia, Israel and Iran, Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of the Congo, India and Pakistan, Serbia and Kosovo, and Egypt and Ethiopia. This means President Trump has brokered, on average, about one peace deal or ceasefire per month during his 6 months in office. It's well past time that President Trump was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize.
This, of course, is a sentiment echoed by the likes of Benjamin Netanyahu not long before he drops more bombs on starving children. So I'll let that speak for itself regarding peace.
So I want to present to you, Mr. President, the letter I sent to the Nobel Prize Committee. It's nominating you for the Peace Prize, which is well deserved, and you should get it.
Thank you very much. This I didn't know. Wow. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Coming from you in particular, this is very meaningful. Thank you very much, baby.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you're doing.
Thank you. It's a great honor.
She was then asked about whether Trump's wish to hold a G20 summit at the Trump Doral Resort was to enrich his own businesses. Leavitt quickly shut it down because it is such a ridiculous question, right? I mean, of course the president wouldn't use his power in office to amplify his own businesses.
And I just got a note that the staggering level of corruption from last night's meme coin dinner.
That's what you're focusing on, the meme coin.
No, 40% of Donald Trump's wealth has been accumulated since he became president because of 2 crypto coins. The New York Times did interviews with foreign buyers of this cryptocurrency who came over here to have dinner with him. A guy from South Korea.
This is not even part of the segment.
So what?
You're talking about a meme coin.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about who's corrupt and who is profiting off the American office.
I mean, look at his recent trip to Scotland. You didn't see him spend 3 of the 5 days at his golf courses, did you? Didn't see him open a new one on taxpayer dime, did you?
Emily, in a new seat today.
Thanks, Caroline. I wanted to ask about this report that the president wants to host a G20 meeting at Trump Darrell. How is he going to do that considering all the preparations that have been going on in South Africa? And also, would that be seen as his businesses possibly profiting from hosting this kind of meeting?
I would reject that premise entirely. We have announcements and details forthcoming on the G20, but my understanding is no firm announcement is ready to be made at this time. I did see the report, but we're not in a place to confirm it just yet.
Speaking of waste of money, Levitt rounded out her day's work by telling reporters that work on the 90,000 square foot ballroom will begin in September and will be completed long before Trump's 4-year term ends in January 2029.
The White House is one of the most beautiful and historic buildings in the world. Yet the White House is currently unable to host major functions, honoring world leaders in other countries without having to install a large and unsightly tent approximately 100 yards away from the main building's entrance. The White House State Ballroom will be a much needed and exquisite addition of approximately 90,000 total square feet of innately designed and carefully crafted space with a seated capacity of 650 people, which is a significant increase from the 200-person seated capacity in the East Room of the White House. In recent weeks, President Trump has held several meetings with members of the White House staff, the National Park Service, the White House Military Office, and the United States Secret Service to discuss design features and planning.
Yes, talk about timing. To hell with concerns on how businesses are combating tariffs. To hell with the fact that inflation, quote, came in hotter than expected. Not my words, Fox News words, by the way.
Number right now, Lauren, with it.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Let's start with the PCE price index. This is the number that the Fed pegs its 2% inflation target to. It came in hotter than expected, rising for the second month, 2.6%. The expectation was 2.5% on an annual basis. That was a little bit hotter. Month over month, it came in as expected, hotter than May, but as expected for June, 0.3%. Let's take out volatile food and energy prices. The core, year over year, 2.8% versus the expectation and the prior month, both at 2.7%.
Who do you think this really does come down to having to impress the American people right now? Is your party, Mike, you guys are not all moving in concert with one another.
No, I mean, we lost the last election, so we're having a lot of tough conversations about how we build a new Democratic Party. That'll keep happening until we elevate a new candidate. What I'll tell you, though, is I think both political parties are completely out of touch with the day-to-day lives of most Americans. There's a lot of polling out in the last couple of weeks talking about how frustrated people are with inflation and pricing and housing and things like that.
Inflation's at 2%. The GDP
inflation's at 2.9%, actually, Harris. It's the
GDP just hopped to 3%. I mean, we haven't seen that in a very long time.
If I could point you to Fox's own polling, Trump is negative 30% on pricing and the inflation. It's as unpopular as Joe Biden ever was. So the American people are pretty frustrated with where their lives are right now. There's a Navigator poll out just this morning or yesterday that has a lot of Americans saying they're worse off than they were 6 months ago.
And to help with the ever-growing questions about Epstein, look at this big, beautiful gold ballroom that Trump can send more tweets from and host lavish gatherings with his billionaire donors while the American people are left without healthcare. Honestly, who would have thought that a reality TV star billionaire would be so out of touch? And then it was over to Trump's event where he fielded more questions regarding Epstein, going against his wish to just get everybody to stop talking about it. And he was given a chance to clarify statements that he's made over the past few days that have done absolutely nothing to make him look less suspect.
That was it. I'm glad I did, if you want to know the truth. And by the way, I never went to the island, and Bill Clinton went there supposedly 28 times. I never went to the island, but Larry Summers, I hear, went there. He was the head of Harvard. And many other people that are very big people. Nobody ever talks about them. I never had the privilege of going to his island.
People keep writing stories about the time you flew him out of Mar-a-Lago. Can you settle that? What was it about? What caused the breach?
That's such old history. Very easy to explain, but I don't want to waste your time by explaining it. But for years, I wouldn't talk to Jeffrey Epstein. I wouldn't talk because he did something that was inappropriate. He hired help. And I said, don't ever do that again. He stole people that work for me. I said, don't ever do that again. He did it again. And I threw him out of the place, persona non grata. I threw him out, and that was it. I'm glad I did, if you want to know the truth.
And he didn't succeed today either.
Busy week between this executive order, trade, Russia, Gaza, but also the family of Virginia Giuffre released a statement overnight in response to some of the comments that you made this week. You said that Jeffrey Epstein stole people from Mar-a-Lago. At the time, did you know why he was taking those young women, including Virginia?
No, I didn't know. I mean, I would figure it was ABC fake news that would ask that question, one of the worst. But no, I don't know really why. But I said, if he's taking anybody from Mar-a-Lago, he's hiring or whatever he's doing. I didn't like it. And we threw him out. We said, we don't want him, at the place. This is a story that's been known for many years, as you know. But it's, I didn't like it that he was doing that. Yeah.
The truth is more important than ever. Check out our new Truth Over Lies collection at store.MeidasTouch.com. All 100% USA union made.